Whoa. All right, I'm gonna check on YouTube, make sure it's all good to go. We might need to do something on the YouTube end. Yeah, on the YouTube end, it still says waiting for PlayerMint. So if you know how there's like the stream settings inside YouTube, I'm sure if you just go in there and click go live, it'll be good to go.
There's the go live button.
It should be right next. It should be in like the upper right hand corner.
Like
my knowledge.
On YouTube, I'm sure if you just go on there and click go live, it'll be good to go.
Oh, it says we're live on YouTube.
We're just like, we think we're not live. I'm looking at the Zoom YouTube link. Maybe it's a different.
I just closed the live stream, like a YouTube live stream. It was streaming. It like opened up a window of the stream.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, now it is live. I think it's a different Zoom link though. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, let's get this thing going then.
This one works.
This one works. Yeah, I think the links or something were a little weird, but no, we are all good to go.
Cool.
Sweet. All right.
Just do it straight from Zoom now.
It's exciting. We'll do that, and then we'll get some folks in here. Yeah, so I think the link thing was just like a little funky or something.
They don't give you the same settings of
yeah.
Go live. I don't know.
Hey, well, that's no worries. Well, all right. I just got out some social stuff. Fantastic. All right. Well, I think we got some folks watching already. We got 5 folks in here. Hey, everybody. I hope you all are doing spectacular today. We're about to hop into the town hall. Let's pull this guy on over. And I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right on into it because you folks are waiting. So we gotta give you a show. But it's good to have everybody. I hope everyone's feeling good, doing well, and just excited for what we can accomplish today. Let's just make sure we got folks going on in here. Yep. Awesome. Fantastic. All right, and let's start the slideshow. All right, everybody, welcome to PlayerMint Town Hall number 13. I hope you all are doing absolutely spectacular. Grant, is everything looking good with the screen share and all that?
Yep, everything's looking good. Welcome everybody to the 13th Town Hall. Got some cool updates.
Yeah, yes, let's dive right on into it. Introductions.
I'm Grant, if you don't know me. I'm the CEO of the team building PlayerMint. Been a full-time and investor in the crypto space since the beginning of the Cardano days. So I'm all in on the space and the card system, and just super thrilled to be building PlayerMint and all of our play to earn endeavors.
Absolutely. And then these slides might not be needed anymore, but my name is Aiden Rake Williams, the Chief Experience Officer at PlayerMint. Similar story to Grant in terms of getting in to the crypto space pretty early on to Cardano's existence, at least from a more public perspective when they actually had the ADA crypto. Gamer since childhood, always loved playing on the PlayStation 2 as a kid. Of course, the old days of Minecraft and all that fun stuff. Helped found PlayerMint with Grant back in 2018, and then interned for Emergo in 2019, and currently working in some of the Project Catalyst stuff at the moment in terms of more current involvement. But let's hop into it all. The agenda we have today is super, super exciting. We got some updates regarding the development of the core product in some endpoints. So actual smart contract code has been written for PlayerMint. We got some website updates that you all, if you've been kind of staying up to date as to what's going on, we're going to cover the website, Cnft role buddy commercialization. I'm going to speak to a little bit about what's going on there, game time mint and community treasury stuff, end of year tourney. We're going to kind of follow that up with a little bit of Q&A, and then end it with a bit of a Cardano Craft beta update. And we're actually going to hop into the Cardano Craft beta server and demo out a little bit of the experience. So we're going to show you what we've kind of been building, the mods that we've been installing, and how we're going to have some fun with them. So looking forward to that, but let's hop on into the dev updates.
All right, so with the core product, we finished the minting endpoint, and we're kind of waiting for the PAB to finalize a lot of things there, but we're looking to stress test the minting tool and get people minting so that we can hand that tool to different projects and have our own minting tool that we're using for games and NFTs and things like that. So that's going along really well. And then onto like the PMX endpoint, we also finished the Pmx Reward Endpoint. I will also be putting that onto a test net in order to test the reward mechanism. And that's for games like Fortnite and these big titles that we're connecting to the APIs for. So that and the minting endpoint are completed, which is super, super exciting.
Yeah. So what we really want to do here in regards to that testnet is kind of play around with the reward distribution side of things. So we're going to have some folks verify ownership over their Epic Games account, and then we're going to use test ADA in the PMX minting or the PMX distribution endpoint in order to essentially actually reward people with testnet ADA based off of their in-game performance. And then through that, we'll figure out the best model of distribution and then the best model of gameplay performance. So like what is true skill inside of the game Fortnite. So that's going to be tons of fun.
Yep. And we want to be able to use the minting tool for launchpad projects and different projects that we're working with. So the big thing right now for that is the PAB, but other than that, it's rolling along really well.
Yeah. Exciting stuff.
So end of year tournament, Josh is lead on this. The tentative date is the 27th, and we're going to have a larger prize pool. And then the exciting thing is also the founder NFTs will be used to vote for which game we're going to run the tournament with. We're looking at CSGO, Fortnite, and Rocket League for the vote. So, and Aiden did a fantastic job with this. Gave me a nice laugh this morning.
Yeah, no, I thought it might be fun to do a little bit more than just an image of each game title. But yeah, that's gonna be super cool. Big thanks to Josh for putting that together. And I know that we had some interactions with the community wanting to say, hey, let's get more gaming tournaments going. So we're gonna do one on the 27th and all that fun stuff. And then
the voting will start next week for which games the founders want to see played for the tournament.
Yeah.
So awesome. Where you'll vote will be in the Discord. So if you have a founder NFT, you can head over into the Discord and use the new Cnft bot, which we'll get into a little bit later on in the presentation, for the voting of which game you'll see in the tournament.
Yeah. Awesome. And then in terms of the website updates for the core product, in terms of the core product page, I think the best way to actually demo the experience is to quite literally go to playermint.com and show it off a little bit so you can see what's going on. But what we've done here is essentially we're revamping the site. For those of you that have been with us for a little bit, it used to be just the founder NFT mint page for a while, and we're like, well, that's not really accurate over a month after the mint occurs. So we're working on putting this together. So I'm designing this in Wix at the moment, and so this is the home page. You all have probably seen this by now. We got our Discord and then the Kaizen crypto video. I actually got some great suggestions from Viking yesterday on how we can optimize page loading times via a PNG compression tool. But in terms of the two new pages that we wanted to show off, one of them was the core product page. We're really trying to make the language here very no coiner friendly, to put it in that terminology. We want to make it so that someone can read through this and essentially not feel as though there's large amounts of crypto background knowledge that they need to know. So the first take is generally we're just getting out the website with standard text. And then I'm going in with Josh and another member of our team, and we're essentially just reading through it from the perspective of someone who knows nothing about crypto, and we're reformatting the language as we go. So we're kind of in the middle of kind of reformatting some of this text just so it's a little bit easier. But you have the play to earn, connect, play, earn. More skill equals more PMX, kind of explaining how people can earn PMX via gameplay performance. Then we have the NFT marketplace, mint, discover, and trade. And that's going to be super fun. And then a little description on that. We included our roadmap, and we're going to add our light paper as soon as we finish updating it. So right now there's a few just kind of things like, for example, the roadmap inside the light paper is a little bit out of date, and some other terminology that we just want to kind of make a little bit clearer. And then the built by page with PlayerMint, M Labs, and then our great design group called Scrum Launch. And then finally, we have the about page. This is kind of all about specifically the team. So, we have actually over 45 years of experience in the gaming industry as a whole team. And now we're kind of trying to bring that gaming experience into the crypto space. So we're kind of sharing our vision of trying to create 24/7 global competitions for all the gamers out there so that they can turn their gameplay performance into valuable assets. Some market opportunity stats. I thought one that was really interesting is how back in 2020 there was $54 billion worth of in-game purchases occurred that year, and compare that to we're seeing lots of crypto metaverse assets pop up, and it's really interesting to compare that to the total market cap of all crypto fungible tokens, at least. Not including non-fungibles, purely fungibles is as a $36 billion market. So it's kind of interesting to see the comparisons between total market cap of metaverse assets versus just in-game purchases. And it will be interesting to see how those graphs kind of eclipse one another as we see those metaverse game assets reach a much higher market cap than in-game purchases. And then of course we have meet the team, and then our partners. So that is the about page and the core product page. Right now I'm working on the founder NFT page in the, let's go into here. I'm working on the founder NFT and launchpad page, and then we're going to add in a few other sections. So for example, on the core product page, adding in things like PlayerMint Pro, describing that a little bit more. And then on the founder NFT, we're really going to dive into what each utility is. And I want to create a cool little graphic that displays the current status of that in regards to, is it complete? For example, like the Discord bot verification and access to exclusive roles utility is complete. Whereas with the Launchpad, it's like, that's kind of in progress. We've had one founder mint, we're working towards the next one, and so on and so forth. And then finally, let's jump into the game time mint. So this was this beautiful mint put together by Michael Walker. And we worked together on putting this, kind of making it happen. And it's kind of beautiful collectible that I think a lot of people had fun with. Just kind of a great way to demo out the founder mint experience so that we can get prepped and ready for our mint that we're sorting with Shadow Realms at the current moment. And so at the moment, we are able to verify ownership of the Game Time NFT via the Cnft Roll Buddy bot. And right now we have 184 owners of the Game Time Mint, at least that are verified inside the Discord server, which is really cool. 752 were minted during the open window. That policy ID is going to lock next week. And just to round that off, and so that PlayerMint has some NFTs so that we can give away in things like our upcoming tournaments, as well as community events and whatnot. We're going to mint 8 more just from the PlayerMint side of things that we'll cover, and then that'll bring the total supply to 760. In terms of what we're going to do with those Game Time mints in the PlayerMint wallet, those are purely going to be for community giveaways. We're not going to go to something like cnft.io and try to sell them or anything. It'll be purely something that we then distribute back to the community. And then the final thing I want to state is that the community treasury, I've been kind of making some rounds, and I'm still needing to make more rounds, but we're actually have distributed out a good bit of ADA. I think we probably distributed in the range of 300 to 400 of that community treasury ADA to folks like the Random Troll, to folks like the Cardano Craft Beta users, to folks like Big Daddy Legacy, who helped out a lot with the moderation and other really helpful folks. And there's even an individual who I reached out about how amazing they've been in the PlayerMint community, and they declined it and they said, hey, I just like being here. Send it over to the Cardano Craft folks instead. So really cool. And I'm not completed. I have more people I need to contact in regards to community treasury distribution. And then of course, some of that money is going to the founder, or not the founder, but the end of year tournament that we have coming up.
Yep, and the game time, I'll just add that the game time drop was obviously a founder exclusive drop. And in regards to that, we'll be continuing to do those. And you'll see also a drop to mint as things like Hydra come out. And eventually we'll be at the point where we can also be doing free drops to people that are holding founder NFTs as things like that come out, and there's that available infrastructure to us.
Yeah, kind of just a matter of tooling at the moment. We'd love to make it as low cost as possible. It's just really a matter of what tools we have available versus what we need to build out ourselves, which is like what Grant mentioned earlier regarding the minting endpoint, that as soon as we have the PAB or some sort of suitable format to turn off-chain inputs into on-chain outputs, we'll be able to utilize that, and that'll really help us out. But without further ado, one thing I want to mention before we hop into Q&A is just a little bit of an update on the Cnft Rule Buddy bot. So we're working with Gaming Cardano, the amazing Taylor, and of course the fantastic Random Troll regarding the kind of commercialization of the Cnft Rule Buddy. So at the moment, we are actually getting it all prepped and ready. Random Troll ported the API service that we're using to request wallet data from to Blockfrost. It used to be on PoolPM, but then we realized that just from like the amount of data we were requesting from PoolPM was a little bit too much. And Smog, we actually had a conversation with Smog, and he was super helpful and essentially directed us, hey, my API might not be the best suited for this. So shout out to him. He was super helpful and offered a lot of suggestions. And right now we're actually working on enabling the bot to have, I mean, I'm not personally, that credit all goes to the Random Troll, but allowing one Discord identity to have multiple verified wallets. So for example, if you hold some of your NFTs in a more hot environment because you want to sell them, and then some in a more cold environment because you want to keep them for a while, that we'll be able to support things like that as well, which is really exciting. Finally, in regards to that, we are reaching out to other projects as well. So if you are going about creating your own project, where you're going to need some sort of NFT verification, we actually have a good couple people lined up that want to use the bot, and we're going to start implementing it into other servers starting next week. The kind of route in which we're doing this is we kind of want to, we're figuring out the exact specifics around open source and what type of licensing we're going to go with. But the general idea, this hasn't been, set in stone quite yet, but the general idea is we want to make the full code base entirely open source so that any of the kind of developer-esque folks can take that code base, and as long as they have a full node wallet like Daedalus running combined with some sort of database, they can use that code base for free and as much they want. And then in terms of if they, for example, don't want to run their own full node, which is getting pretty hefty to just have running on your system for just 24/7 without having some sort of external server, those are the people that we'll get in contact with, and we're figuring out kind of a pricing model that makes it so that we gain enough revenue so that we can sustain the bot, make sure that the Random Troll is getting paid for the development work and upkeep, and then making sure that it's just sustainable so that it provides enough of a economic output that it's worth the economic input. And then so you kind of have that beauty of open source freeness for those that can support that. And then also the more commercialized, hey, I don't know how to operate a full node or a code base. I can just send a couple ADA and then have that kind of service set up for me. So without further ado, I think it's time to hop in a little bit of a Q&A. We'll answer some questions, and then I'm going to do the live demo of some Cardano Craft beta stuff. And Grant and I can discuss about kind of what you're seeing on the screen. But for now, let's hop into Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then we can check out if there's any YouTube comments of questions that people may have. Awesome. Love to see it. Let us know if you have any questions at all. More than happy to answer it. It looks like right now we just have some people saying, hey, yo, in the chat, and it's really good to see you all. So really appreciate it. But if anyone has any questions, let us know. We're happy to get to them. If you don't have any questions, we'll hop right on into the kind of Cardano craft side of things. And we'll give a little bit of time for the stream to catch up. Demo. Time for the demo. I think people want the demo. Alrighty, let's hop on into that. Geez, okay. So I'm gonna open up mindtest.exe. All right, I'm gonna get everything prepped and ready for the for this. Okay, great. Grant, would you mind checking on if they post any questions into the YouTube?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then we'll do that. And just grabbing this. Great. I'm just getting everyone so that you all don't have to see me log into everything. Great. And copy. Awesome. Alrighty, y'all. I'm connecting to the Cardano Craft beta server as we speak. It's just loading in all of the media files. Awesome. Sweet. So it looks like Gaming Cardano has a question regarding the bot. How much does Cnft Roll Buddy cost? So the current price structure, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gaming Cardano, but the current price structure that we're looking at is a 100 ADA for an entire year's worth of usage. For I believe one roll, or is it one or two rolls, and up to 2,000 users, and that is for the entirety of a year. You only have to have to pay that once, and then if you have more than 2,000 users, and 2,000 users isn't the number of people in your Discord, it's the number of verified individuals that have used the bot. So just so there's that little distinction there. Awesome. But yeah, feel free to, if I said anything incorrectly, Gaming Cardano, you're more than welcome to correct me. But I'm gonna share my screen, and I think we should jump into this live demo. Sweet. Turn on as close to the perhaps. JP, great statement. Yeah. So the AMA and the town hall might be a little bit too close together. I think that's a good idea. Maybe we can spread those apart. Make the AMA on something like Wednesday, and then have this on Saturday, so there's a little bit more space, or maybe even have that on Tuesday. I appreciate that. Awesome. Can everybody see the screen that I'm sharing right here?
Looks good to me.
Looks good?
Yep.
Sweet. Alrighty, folks. Let's hop on into it. It might be a little bit laggy for you all, just because of the stream delay and whatnot. But what you're seeing here is we're utilizing a really cool open source voxel engine called Mindtest in order to fully integrate the kind of Cardano blockchain into this open source voxel world. And so what we're doing right now is the beta, and what the beta is essentially the best that we can do in regards to creating a top layer of essentially NFT integration that isn't built into the game, but rather has impact on the game. So for example, what you're going to see right now in front of me, and my apologies if there's any lag due to the stream, is I've built this house right here. Let me take off some boots so I'm not running so quickly. So here we have kind of the overall inventory HUD display. You can kind of see that we have a variety of options at the bottom regarding setting your home, setting the kind of different inventory stuff. We have some cool bag related mods. You can even change your skin around. Like right now I have this beautiful turkey skin, which is really cool. And there's a wide variety of options. Like maybe I'll be the Grinch because it's close to Christmas time. And then we also have cool things like achievements and awards and whatnot that can kind of make the game just a little bit more usable, enjoyable, fun. But yeah, overall, I think what people are excited about is what can actually be done. I mean, right now, for example, there's a little duck right here who's being nice and angry. So I'm going to try to get rid of this guy so he doesn't just keep banging into me. But so here, for example, maybe I've built myself a nice little house or settlement, and I want to make it so that no one else within the server can just come in here and break my house. So there's a really cool mod that we installed that utilizes protection blocks. And so basically what I can do here is that I can walk into my location and I can say, hey, I want to protect this environment. I'm going to go in here and I can place down a protection block. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that I am the only one that can edit this environment, right? So if I go here, what you're going to end up seeing is I can hit this with my little torch. And then do you all see this kind of purple array that's kind of been projected across the house? Essentially what that's displaying is that's the environment that is protected and only editable by the people that are inside of that protection block. So that's really, really exciting, because what we can do here is we can actually support the beta edition version of the founder NFT land mint. And what we can do is give each founder NFT holder access to, you just saw a duck, Merca cow over there. We can give each founder holder a plot of land in which we can do build offs on, right? And that's going to be super cool, because we can team up with Shadow Realms and say, hey, create your coolest tavern. Uh-oh, I got a little spider coming up to me.
And it
So as you can see here, the mobs are not always friendly, so you kind of got to protect yourself and whatnot. But yeah, so super cool stuff. Yeah, right. Like when I first logged in, that duck just came after me and just killed me over and over again. So that's why we kind of had some time that we're spending on debugging the whole mod situation. But I think there's a few other things that I want to show you. One that I think y'all are going to think is super cool is going to be the mesh port mod. And so if we scroll on over to here, you can see that I have this cool little wand. And what I can do here is I can actually click on an element or a block, and then I can click on another set of blocks, and I'll just fly up really quick to do that. Maybe I'll do this block. That'll be 1, and then I'll set this one to 2. And then, so do you all see how it now, oh, and we got another duck coming after me. There we go. And then now you all can see that we have this kind of gray perimeter that is surrounding the building. And what's really cool about this is that I can type in the command mesh port, and then we can see here is that there you might see a little bit of some warning just in regards to some texture files, but overall you can see there that finished. Essentially right now I just saved a 3D graphical display that I can move around and fully rotate of those blocks. So if I went off and downloaded that file, you would be able to see what I essentially captured here. And what's really cool is we can use that for minting purposes. So now all of a sudden I can turn my in-game builds into out-of-game NFTs, which is really exciting. Other than that, I originally had some mobs set up in this little fenced off area. But as you can see here, some spiders and ducks came in and decided to kill everything in sight. So I'll just spawn in a few items for you all so you can kind of see that we have some cool stuff. Maybe we'll get a cat and a boar. Let's show off the penguin. And I think it's kind of cool to see what happens when you put the cat and mouse together. So these are just some of the mods. There's a lot more that you're going to run into the overall environment. But maybe, for example, you want a warthog. Those are cool. A little kitty. These guys like to stand on top of other creatures and whatnot, which is pretty fun. And then this is, I think you all are going to like this. If I place down the rat, you're going to see, at least last time, there it goes. Now the cat got super angry at the rat and decided to go off and kill it. So these animals also have cool functionality with one another and in our interactive, and depending on what's in the environment, yeah, they like to run around, stand on top of each other, all that fun stuff. The other side of the thing, as you can see, this is the double fence. That is because we are going to show off some of the enemy types that you might be battling when you get into this. These, like I said earlier, are not everything available. For example, you can see a chicken coming up on my screen right now. And let's pull these down. And let's just grab these guys. Put them there, put them there, put them there. And so I can throw down the sand monster, and I can throw down the these little creatures, right? And so there's all these kind of awesome little elemental items and whatnot, and like little mobs that you're going to run into. So this guy likes to throw little shards of obsidian at you. This guy is just a magma ball who just wants to eat your brains, and all these kind of cool different mods that we can throw down here. And let's get one other cool one in here. And we'll grab this one. And they're stabbing me constantly, little stone monsters and whatnot, and that you all are going to run into in the middle of the night, which is really fun. And then I think one of the final things that I really want to show you all that I think is super awesome is going to be a little display of some of the overall biomes within the Cardano Craft server. So I'll fly up again and I'll enable the fast mode. I'm also in an admin account right now, so you all aren't going to just be able to fly around and change the time of day and all that stuff. That's admin account stuff. But as we can see here, we're kind of in this like nice little peach blossom biome. Over here, we have some bamboo biomes, and we can kind of go over here and we have more forest biomes with all these kind of really wild trees. There's also some crazy lava biomes, desert biomes, ice biomes, kind of what you'd expect from normal Minecraft, as well as a few things that we added in here with the help of the Mind Test team. And as you can see, the map is kind of just this beautiful rolling landscape that's kind of loading in as I'm flying around here. And then, of course, you have things like little crevices that'll go off into different mines and whatnot. And then one thing I do really want to show you all, if we go back on over here, is the depth of the map. So if we go in here, and I think we're about to get attacked by a phoenix. Yep. So there's a phoenix coming in here, and it just decided to murk all of the farm animals. And now it's going to try to come after me. So I'm going to take it out. And we'll get that with its derpy little eyeballs. And then one thing I really want to show you all here is this is just displaying the depth of the map. And one of the really cool biomes that is super unique to Mind Test. So one thing that I do want to do is I'm going to set it to night. And as we can see, we can hear some owls. And then what is really cool is we installed a mod. So as you can see here, as I'm walking around, based off of me holding this torch, it's actually illuminating the ground around me. So if I had another buddy in the server, I would also see them. So I don't have a torch placed. Rather, I'm walking around and it's illuminating the environment around me as I go. So when we're going into caves and whatnot, what's cool about that is you don't need to constantly be placing down torches. You can carry one as you go. But the one thing that I do really want to show you all, and hopefully I can do this without dying too quickly, is I'll just enable flying. Let's disable that. But if we look down here, we're going to see a very, 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 very deep hole. And we're going to fly on down there. And let's go. And so as you can see here, it's a lot of blocks all the way down. And we're just going to keep on flying, flying, flying. And as we do this, we're plunging very, very deep into the overall Mind Test world in the Cardano Craft beta. And what we're going to run into is a really unique biome of these giant, massive cave systems that are full of these glowing fungi that are just really kind of spectacular. And when me and the other person that's helping out a lot with the Cardano Craft beta hopped into the server and finally found one of these locations, I mean, I was just kind of mind blown about like how deep the Mind Test map goes. And then of course, all of the expansive biomes that are within it. So we're slowly kind of getting there because of course it's a very, very far drop, but it's coming up here. It should be the next hole that we exit out of. And we're just going to take a little bit of a time to just kind of display and take a look at how absolutely extensive this environment is. I've been flying probably for about like a minute, and this is all going straight down deep into, I guess you could say, the crust of the Mind Test world for our Cardano Craft beta server. So I think we're coming. What's that?
Massive.
Yeah, so here's a little environment. This is kind of another cool way to show you all. We have a bunch of different ores, got some copper, gold, silver, core, bronze, all that fun stuff. Those all make different weapons, items and whatnot. As you can see here, we have like 30 different pages of items and whatnot. I haven't even scratched really the surface of all the things that are going on in here. And all the cool things that you can build, harvest, do. We even have some mechanical stuff, some teleporters, some systems, all that cool stuff. But what I think you all are going to be really kind of amazed by is when I turn around here, you're going to see how absolutely expansive this environment is. So as you can see, it's kind of loading in there. But if you can see all of these, I'm flying right now, all of these little glowing spots, this is one absolutely massive, ginormous open cave system that you could build an entire town within. So this is super exciting. If we pull out our little torch, we're going to see that I'm flying through open space right now. And this is all just a giant, massive cave biome. As you can see here we have a cave lift, but it just keeps going and going and going. And if I fly on down to the ground here, you'll see this is all ground. This isn't just like I'm clipping through things. It's like, this is all just a massive, ginormous cave biome that is just super open, ready to be explored, ready to be built within. And the only light that you have to start off is these little glowing mushrooms. So I think that is kind of the demo experience. Grant, was there anything that you wanted me to cover that maybe I didn't, or maybe anyone has questions in the chat? But there you go. You can kind of see a glimpse of the lighting mechanic right there. I wish I could kind of display how large and far off, but I'm using the zoom button right now. So if we look at that little mushroom over there, and then we unzoom, we can literally see that it's so far out that my render for my computer has 8 gigabytes of RAM, can't even display it because it's so far away. And that is all open cave systems. So that is just a little bit of a demo on the Cardano Craft beta. Why it's been taking so long is because we had a little bit of some bug issues in terms of displaying the inventory system. This was kind of a little bit out of whack on the skin panel here. We also had issues regarding not being able to see other characters, what items they're holding, if they're having any armor. We were missing a couple database requirements. Some of the inventory mods that we had installed didn't work well together. So doing all that stuff and making sure that all the pieces fit together in a way that doesn't just crash everything was a little difficult for sure. But we have it now, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah, I think that's kind of the, let's go back to the home. So that's the little live beta. I'm glad that nothing broke. Right now, in terms of next steps that we're thinking is we want to make it so that the we're going to invite everybody to the server. What it's looking like is going to be early next week. So I'm going to create some tutorial videos. I've already created one, but I think now that we have a little bit more things mapped out, I'll create another. And we're going to just do the basics of how to get in, how to install Mindtest, and then how to get in a server. And then I'll create another one on how to use this stuff in the server and get started. And then we'll invite you all to the server. I think what we'll do is we'll do our best to kind of destroy the world. And then what we'll do is we'll reset it and then go about trying to give, kind of phase by phase, give different founders a plot of land within the server, give them ownership via a protection block within it. And then we're going to probably launch our first build off contest with the amazing Shadow Realms folks. So we'll probably come up with what do we want the building to be, but maybe it'll be a dungeon, maybe it'll be a castle, maybe it'll be create a dragon with blocks, or maybe it'll be create some sort of awesome tavern. Who knows? We'll come up with something fun, and we'll definitely include your input. So yeah, I think that's the beta. If we have any questions or things we want to go over, we're more than happy to do so.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good questions in here.
Awesome.
Why Mindtest and not Minecraft? I think that's a great question. Firstly, it's entirely open source, so we're not at the helm of Microsoft. It's also completely free, and basically Mindtest is an open source voxel game engine. It's a good way to think about it. So it gives us a ton of freedom to kind of be able to do whatever we want and for it to continue to evolve over time. So it's a really perfect breeding ground to evolve this kind of sandbox type of experience.
Yeah, and we can optimize the core engine. Like that's what's so cool about this is we could fork the code and then optimize the engine. So whereas with Minecraft, it's like we could be integrated into the code base that they have, but almost like you can think of it as like the difference between like a layer 2 protocol like I think it's called Polygon now, like Polygon versus a layer 1 protocol like Ethereum. It's if you can do the layer 1 benefits you achieve a lot of the overall kind of core mechanics of the blockchain. And it's kind of the same thing here, where we can actually implement it into the exact source code as opposed to kind of creating some sort of plugin. Do we have any other questions that we want to hop into? Let's see.
Yeah, I can run through these. So one question, I mean, we got that's a little not in regards to Cardano Craft, but can you please explain what the minting service function that PlayerMint will offer? Is it similar to NFT Maker, but for gaming projects? So it is similar to NFT Maker, just in that you're able to mint, but this is a smart contract based minting solution. That's why the main thing that's holding it up at this point, even though the endpoint is done, is the completion of the PAB by IOHK. But we're looking to make that as open source as we can, and not have the minting fee. So we're hoping that it's going to drop down the cost of minting on Cardano, and hopefully continue to add features to it and smart contracts and things like that that doesn't exist right now in the ecosystem.
Fantastic. Yeah, do we have any other questions here? Is the size of land different based on green or purple? So we're actually working through that right now. What in terms of green versus purple, I think those are gonna have the same size plots, just because in terms of the utility benefits regarding Cardano Craft, those are the same for green and purple founders. However, what we are going to be looking into is the how can we provide more benefits to folks that hold multiple founders? And so what we're thinking is we would have some sort of policy where for every founder NFT you hold, for one founder NFT you hold, right? Like if I go back into the game, you're going to get like one protection block's worth of area, right? Like that much space that you see in that purple grid. And what I think we're going to do for people that own multiple founders is expand that environment by like essentially by one perimeter. So we'll expand that by a one block perimeter to every single side, I guess, if that makes sense. So we'll push that perimeter back one block for each founder NFT people hold. And just the benefit there is that we might not be able to give you a brand new plot of land just because of the scalability of that. However, just for the beta reasons, however, for this, it's some sort of utility benefit to the people that own multiple founder NFTs. So if you own 3 or 4 founder NFTs, you're going to have a plot size that has a larger perimeter by a considerable amount, to the point where maybe you're going to now build a little shed on the side of your house and cool stuff like that. How big is the land plot for one purple token and one green? Yeah, so in terms of the land size, we're going to make that to essentially map out to the protection block size. So we have a duck out here who wants to kill me. Which Stephen, I like your comment, killer ducks. I thought so too. We installed the mod and I was like, oh, I guess the ducks aren't friendly this time, are they? So in terms of just to show the sizing of the protection blocks, let me display it here. So if I place this down, that's one standard protection block. And if I hit it, we can see that's, and we got a spider trying to kill me too. That's about the size, as you all saw there. That's going to be the size of the standard plot area. And then, like I said, we'll push that back by one kind of block perimeter for every founder NFT that people hold. And that's just for beta. That's just for beta, just because of what we can do in the environment. Hey, you mentioned that you can convert in-game builds to out-of-game NFTs. So the builds would be like blocks placed or equipment. Yeah, so in terms of that stuff, there's this really cool mod called Meshport, which is kind of what I demonstrated earlier, where I essentially, oh wow, this duck followed me up here. I'm able to essentially utilize a command to set a 0.1 and a 0.2. And the idea there is the mesh port mod grabs all of the blocks that are within those 2 points and then turns it into some sort of a 3D render file. So right now we're just working on essentially telling that download where to pull textures and images from. So it's not just like this gray depiction of like, I could do it right now and you could see the house that I created. The only issue is that it would just be gray. So right now we're working on essentially telling that file, hey, utilize this repository as a point of information for what the texture and images like should be for that kind of a mesh port, as it's called. JP's asking, can you change which block selected? The black line is difficult to see at times. My assumption, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'll kill this little spider guy because I'm flying and it can't hurt me as much. My assumption is you're referring to this kind of like black outline. Generally speaking, I'm not sure if we can change that. I think that's kind of in the specifics of the game. I'm not sure if that's something that we can tweak with a setting. It's possible that if I go into something like the settings, which is in the menu, if we exit to menu, I think we should be able to alter some of that stuff. It might be in there. If not, we can look into that. But overall, you kind of get used to it because you have this kind of little cross and you kind of recognize the distance and like what you can and can't hit. So for example, where my guy's pointed at now, it's going to attack the grass. Whereas if I poke it above, it's going to attack the little bush that we have on top there. Yeah. So Crandrum just asked, so you could like build a building and then mint it. That's exactly right. That's what we're trying to get towards is like, we could give you a challenge that we would work with Shadow Realms to build some sort of amazing, some sort of guild hall or some sort of training grounds, or maybe you're going to build a spaceship, or maybe you're going to build an awesome treehouse. And then what we could do is use the mesh port mod to create a 3D render of that and then upload that into something like NFT Maker Pro or our own minting solution. We can mint it as an asset. And then the beauty of it is that then in Pool PM has that beautiful feature where 3D renders can be viewed in AR. So imagine you go off, you build something, a beautiful tree house, and then all of a sudden you can use Pool PM. You can, after it's been minted as an NFT, and now you can display it in AR and then actually just see your awesome tree house like sitting on your desk by your computer as long as you're, of course, looking through your phone. So that's really exciting.
And you could do that and then also have that NFT outside of the game. So that's one of the cool mods that's in place. It kind of helps with that.
Mm-hmm. And then the follow-up question there is, does this map have regenerative properties? So what I'm assuming by that, you mean that, like, for example, like this little tile of dirt, right? Like it's not going to stay a tile of dirt. Eventually it will turn into a piece of grass and things of that nature. That is true. Just like Minecraft, how that stuff will kind of regenerate over time. In terms of things like trees and whatnot, it's just going to kind of pop out of nowhere based off of seedlings. To my knowledge, that's not something that occurs automatically. If I fly again, oh, I guess I was fine. If I fly again, there's a few trees that maybe I can try and find that actually have little seeds on top of them. So we'll go a little bit faster here. I think, yeah, here's one right here. So as you can see here, here's a tree that has little seeds and like little acorns popping off of it. So I don't know if these like little acorns are going to drop and create little sprouts, but what they do is you can see here we have little saplings. So in normal Minecraft, you might have like you'll only have full-size trees, right? You only have fully grown trees. Here you can kind of see we start off with like this little shrub, little stick, and then it gets a little bit thicker, and then eventually it turns into one of these big old trees and whatnot that are just absolutely towering. And imagine how cool it would be to turn in a tree that large into a tree house and then mint that as an NFT. I think that'd be really exciting. Yeah, Trevor's going to build the Cnft news studio. I think that would be so cool. Imagine an episode of the Cnft news update, and then being able to have that inside of Mind Test, inside of our Mind Test world. Yeah, inside the treehouse. Like, how cool would that be? That'd be so exciting. And then who knows, maybe your audience could even like be in the game with you in the audience. I just think that'd be really, really cool.
That's a really cool part about it, and a big focus of it is bringing a bunch of different Cnft projects into the Cardano Craft server to build and integrate assets and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. And the cool thing too here is that we're 100% focused on community input. So it's like if a mod isn't running properly, or you think a new mod should be introduced, or we think that mod should be removed, or anything should be added or changed, or anything of that nature, we can do that. Like that's not out of the realm of possibility. If you are like, hey, we really need dolphins that we can ride on that shoot lasers out of their eyeballs, we can look into making that happen. And that's a reality. And that's kind of the beauty of why we want to go with Mind Test as opposed to Minecraft is because of that open source nature. It just kind of, it's a little bit easier to interact with from a code perspective because you have all that source code in front of you, as opposed to just trying to create something that's kind of like a plugin. So I'm super pumped. I've been playing around. Like earlier today when I got to set up the demo environment. I mean, that was a productive moment of me building a house and, you know, spawning in animals and testing out a bunch of stuff. And, you know, we have chickens and like, check out these little bees. Like these guys are little tiny bees and like, they just like fly around and like, here's another crazy creature that's trying to kill me. This little, oh yeah, I climbed over the tree, and here's like some sort of scary version of it. I don't even know what this thing is, but you know, there you go. And we can have like little busy bees and like they'll fly. Like look, now we have like little insects that are like jumping and flying around and whatnot. And it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And there's spiders that will shoot out like little webs of web, little balls of web at you. And it's just really fun. It's really, really cool. Are the community able to create art for inside the game some stage? Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Let's make it happen. We can totally look into enabling you all. I think in terms of art, Grant, do you know about if we can inject images into the server that are not essentially pixelated? I know that we could do it, for example, that we could enable people to create like a block by block. Like if we treat each block like a pixel, we could pretty much get all the colors of the rainbow in terms of colors, and then people could create art with that. And so it's almost like you're creating your own 16-bit art with the blocks in the game. Do you know if we could inject, like, for example, the founder NFT video into Mind Test?
There is a Minecraft mod that allows you to display normal JPEG files or other types of files in its regular graphic form. So I'm sure we could take the what's being used there for that mod and plug it into the Mind Test source code.
Awesome. Yeah, there's
that would be awesome. Like I would love to have like a Space Bud museum and a Claymate museum in here.
Right, that'd be so cool. And then
like an unsig wall where people are trying to combine the different configurations.
And then we could use Meshport and then turn it into an actual NFT of all the unsigs together. That'd be so cool. But yeah, no, that's kind of what we got going on here with the Cardano Craft beta. Like I said, we want to get everybody nice and involved. That's probably going to be going down early next week. Let's see if we can catch a nice, beautiful sunset, or maybe it's too cloudy of a day. Where is it? There it is, the beautiful sunset right over the horizon, that nice, beautiful block horizon. There it is. Beautiful. What a great way to end the demo.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. There's a certain level of beauty to that. Like, wow, look at that.
Like a snapshot.
Yeah, disappearing over the horizon. And then we're going to say it's going to be day again. Awesome. Are players going to be able to sell resources for the lazy or to trade? I think why not? I mean, there's a couple of people that suggested in-game economy mods. We looked into a few of them, and the complexities were a bit high in terms of their ATMs and loans and whatnot. So I think what we're probably going to do is form either some sort of in-game currency, and I've gotten a suggestion that life energy only be obtained via killing mobs. So the idea is it's a rather high quality currency because it can only be obtained via interacting with the game, via interacting with mobs that aren't just in one environment. Like it's not obtained just through like throwing your shovel at dirt. You have to kill something, therefore you have to be active. You can't just put a rubber band on your mouse and just have it dig forever and earn a bunch of the in-game currency. So that's an option. The other option is we have some sort of out of currency, out of in-game currency. We could, if we wanted to, we talked about how we want to make a test net ADA. I mean, one cool idea would be is for the Pmx endpoint that we want to use on the test net with you all. That could be earned via in-game performance. It's okay. Look at this duck come up to me trying to smack me around. Maybe we could use that in a similar mechanism and enable it so that we're using a testnet cryptocurrency as our in-game currency that we're sending to one another, which could be pretty cool. Yeah. Shashan asks, will players be able to fly in game? No. So there's potions and whatnot that enable flight and things of that nature. Of course, they're not easy to make. I have an admin account. So for example, if I want to, let's grab an animal we haven't done yet. We'll do a nice yellow sheep. I can grab and spawn images however I want. However, if you were to log into the same server right now, get out of here, duck. If you were to log into the server right now, like you wouldn't be able to just come in here and like spawn a yellow sheep like that, or fly around, or zoom, have the same like zoom functionalities. You all aren't going to be able to just like instantly go in here and like change the time of day. So now it's night and now it's day. Like you all aren't going to be able to do that or spawn in any items and things like of that nature. Yeah, we even have some cool, like an acorn muffin. If you want to have an acorn muffin, you can make an acorn muffin. Which is fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. And then there's of course the creepy masks, like the Manicore helmet. And you all are going to run into some really weird fellows when you go into the caves. That is for sure. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Could we use Pmx as an in-game currency? So once the core product rolls out, I think we totally could use Pmx if we wanted to. I think that'd be rather awesome. It's just more so a matter of, is there going to be any issues where essentially there's some sort of really valuable resource, and then, for example, people figure out some sort of way to like steal that resource from one another, and then we have like in-game robberies and whatnot, where it's like, oh, I'm coming back from the mine with all my diamonds, and like, now does that create an incentive for people to just go up and just like kill you because they want to just like steal your diamonds and run? And then do we need to have some sort of in-game rule system where you can't murder people in certain areas?
Real life.
Yeah.
Start out there.
Yeah. So what's the difference between, so it's kind of like that. There's kind of the dilemma is how deep do we want to go down the metaverse rabbit hole? So it could be fun. It could be really, really cool. And I think we'll do this in stages. We'll start off slow, and then we'll accelerate rapidly and really kind of dive into it all.
Yep. I'll make sure we get everything right.
When the game is operational, have you thought about moderators for the game to cover multiple time zones? Yes. So we have thought about that. It's kind of one of those same instances of like, that's why we want it to be the beta at first, is because we can start testing out stuff like that. So in terms of moderators, when we get to like the full Cardano Craft launch and there's financial assets at play, and ensuring that those assets are safe and whatnot, we're definitely going to figure out some sort of moderation. And at that point, we'll also have be able to use the community treasury to pay people that want to be a moderator. Like, how cool is that? We're kind of turning into on-chain governance in a sense. Like, we're almost becoming, I guess, less on-chain governance, more almost like a decentralized autonomous organization around these gaming ecosystems, where now you can fulfill a role within the PlayerMint community and get paid PMX or ADA in order to be a moderator inside of the Cardano Craft server. Like, that's kind of awesome. Like, you could make enough money to support yourself based on, I'm not, I can't make any promises, of course, because we have to see how the open market treats this stuff, but there's the capacity to incur enough positive monetary cash flow just by supporting an in-game economy, going off and getting really cool resources in Cardano Craft, selling them on the open market for things like PMX, and then also just being a moderator inside the server and making sure that people aren't being, griefers and being malicious. That's awesome. That is awesome. So that's the goal. That is the goal, is to make it so that we almost have a decentralized autonomous organization built up around Cardano Craft and PlayerMint core product and all of the other cool stuff that we have going on. That's where we want to get to. Yeah, I've had a little duck that's banging my shield here. I have a nice little shield that's keeping me protected. But yeah, I think that's yeah, the cops are going to be coming through. Oh, JP, no worries at all for the questions. That's what we're here for, is to answer them. So I'm glad that you have some in mind. But yeah, I think that's kind of the town hall.
Yeah.
A fun one. Grant, do you have any other things that you want to share? Any other thoughts?
I think we covered a lot of good stuff. Maybe we get another sunset to close it out.
Oh, another sunset? Close it out. Let's see here. I know I can set the time to just night. I'm not sure if I can, you know what, we'll give it a go. Let's just. It looks like it just goes straight to 9 p.m. Here, what if we set it to morning? Maybe we can get a sunset or a sunrise.
I want some NFT gear.
Oh, here, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this bird. Like, yeah, like that's just the cool stuff. Oh, and the bird wants to kill me. Last question. When? Great question to ask. So I'm just gonna fly up here. Yeah, in terms of here, maybe that makes a really creepy noise. Maybe we can just look this way, and I think there's a button to turn off. Yeah, we'll turn off that sound, and let's see if I can remove the distance so that you all can kind of just stare off into the wild world. Sorry, everybody, just there it is. So there we go. That should kind of set in some of the world. Oh, and over here, guess that's awesome. That I'm glad that we brought that up, because now we can check out the mushroom biome. Last question being when. So in terms of when, we want to launch the beta version next week. We're working on the specific times and creating some tutorials. But sometime next week is our goal for the beta. In terms of the mainnet launch, that's going to be is going to take a little bit more time, of course, just because Monday, that's next week, just because that takes, of course, a bit of time. It's going to take a bit of iteration, but that's why we want to launch the beta now, so that you all have something to play with and you're not just waiting. And then essentially what's going to happen is, and you all probably hear Charles Hoskinson say this a lot, but it's not a light switch. It's a lever that we kind of push up and reach the max. And even when we reach the max, there's more areas we can go in terms of optimization. So Cardano Craft Beta is going to be here as soon as it launches. until Cardano Craft beta turns into just Cardano Craft. And then at that point, we're just enjoying this overall environment. So it's going to be much more of like a spectrum where we're slowly doing NFT integration. And then maybe the first integration will be now the protection blocked elements, like the elements of the world that are owned by specific users are based off of NFTs. Maybe that'll be the first step, or maybe the first step will be, okay, now we've hidden certain NFTs that will be airdrops to you when you mine a specific block. And we'll start off with these smaller integrations, and then we'll move that up as we go. So that's kind of the current idea. Yeah, I'm glad to read that you're excited. But here's some other cool biomes. As we can see, here's some kind of different tree biome. We got some palm trees down there. Those are looking pretty cool. And then over here we have let's speed this up a little bit. Over here we have a beautiful mushroom biome. So who knows? Maybe you were like, hey, I want to live in the mushroom world. But I'm gonna build my house right down here. So you could do that if you wanted to as well, and have a bit of fun. And there's a tree that just popped in there, and I think we have over here we can check out. We have some banana trees. So this is kind of like a little bit more tropical biome. Here we got some banana trees and some mushrooms. Like, what an image, like. Did you ever think you were going to play Cardano Craft Beta and go off and harvest some bananas next to a mushroom, like while a duck is trying to murder you and a cat is murdering mice that are running around, and then you fall into the wrong hole, and then all of a sudden you're plummeting thousands of blocks to a giant underground Minecraft or a mine test city. Like, I'm excited as well. It's going to be fun. Awesome. Do we have any other questions? Any other things you want to bring up, Grant? Or are we kind of feeling good?
I think we're good. Yeah, I mean, take a few more questions if there are any. I'm happy to stay on, but yeah, I'm happy with the things that we've covered. Things are coming along really well. So yeah, exciting times.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess one thing I want to bring up is the some folks have said, is there a better name than Cardano Craft because of the potential for interoperability with other blockchains, and then also just the capacity of just some people in the space think that including Cardano or ADA in your name can sometimes limit the scope of your project. So could be another option in terms of, we haven't quite discussed this yet, Grant, because of the priorities of it, but looking into some other options in terms of what we can do there. Some people offered some cool ideas of like calling it like Square One, I think was an idea, or some sort of a PlayerMint. What was it? Ready PlayerMint was another one. Cool things like that. So that's another idea.
One.
What's up?
I like Square One.
Square One, yeah, because Square One sounds awesome. And what are we in? We're in a voxel world full of squares. So the only squares not here are you and me.
We should compile all the names that people are thinking of and have a founder vote on it.
Yeah, beautiful use of the founder utility. Mintopia, yeah. There you go. I like it.
I say we do it.
Like, we'll message Josh and we'll get like a name contest going, because and we'll of course include Cardano Craft within the voting, so that if people like Cardano Craft, I mean, I like Cardano Craft, but I think if we can come up with something better, we might as well optimize.
Oh yeah.
Steven said he had to go to the store and then came back, and we're still demoing out of the massive landscape. Oh yeah. It keeps going. It goes and goes and goes. And I guess if we have any other questions, what I can do in the meantime is I might as well just fly in a direction, and you all can kind of see the land generate before me, and maybe we'll speed up. Looks like we have an ocean environment going on. Crandrum says that they want to change the name. That's totally cool. That's kind of why we have these is we want to alter things so that they're the way people want them. And that's the cool thing about crypto, and what we're trying to build here is that it's supposed to be built by all of us. It's not just supposed to be built by 2 or 3 people. It's supposed to be something that everyone can contribute to. be a part of. And it seems like already all's them voted for Mintopia. And so who knows, maybe that'll be the future name. And it all started here in the town hall with you all just feeling willing to share some suggestions. And it looks like we are, oh, look at this. See, like, look at this crazy cool biome. Like, what is this? I don't know. I haven't seen any of this biome stuff before. Like, that looks really cool. And there's a duck flying over it. And we're just going to run into a lot of fun stuff is what I think. And we're moving too fast for the server to load in everything. But yeah, so I think that's kind of the that's the demo. We've been rocking and rolling in here. Like, look, all of a sudden now we have like a little, looks like a little cave, little underwater cave that we could go off and explore if we had the right equipment. So yeah, that's Cardano Craft.
Like
or what's that?
It looks like a skull, like a face in the water.
Yeah. Right? Like, how cool does that look? It kind of does. Yeah, dude. Like, there's one eye, and then over there's the other eye, and then down here we have the mouth. Like, right? Like, look at this. Look at this, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm getting so pumped about this, but like, look at that. There's literally a crevice that starts from here and then just tears through the world and then dips down into there and then has another little pocket. Like, what? Like, I want to go explore that. That sounds awesome. Planet Pro asks, is Pmx coming out in January 2022? It's going to come out in Q1 of 2022. So it's possible it could be January. It's unlikely that it will be January, but it'll be January, February, March. Yeah, or April. No, March. January, February, March is what it's look. Yeah. Yep. You make sure I got the right months going on in my head based off of our discussions with MLabs. Sweet. Well, we've been streaming for about an hour and 10 minutes. My apologies for kind of hogging the mic, Grant. Is there anything that you want to share?
No, I mean, I think we caught it. I think you killed it.
Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, and there's another individual who deserves a lot of respect, a lot of appreciation, a lot of kudos. I did not do this alone, not at all. There's another member of our community who was extraordinarily helpful, coming in and just checking in with me on almost a daily basis, offering suggestions, helping with the mods, connecting us to people. And then of course, there's actually really cool people within the mind test community, like one named Edgy1, and another person named Kiwi. And they hopped in when we were having some debugging issues and literally just said, hey, do this, this, and that. They weren't getting paid or doing anything like that. They just said, hey, we'll hop in a Discord. We'll troubleshoot with you and we'll help you out because we want to see you succeed. We don't need anything else. So pretty awesome. Also, another little fun fact is that the server that we're playing on that's being hosted via the Edgy1 hosting solution, highly recommend it if you want to run your own server. Dude is super nice and easy to work with. We paid them ADA in order to get this server up and running. So ADA was used in order to pay for this server to be launched, which is just kind of the cherry on top. But yeah, I think that is the town hall. Thank you all so much. If there's any questions, you're always more than welcome to reach out. If we didn't catch them today or we missed them or anything like that, you're welcome to shoot them off in the Discord and we'll be sure to answer them. But if not, thank you all so much. We're really excited to keep on building and we'll keep you updated on our progress. And we appreciate you all sticking with us and being founders and contributing and being awesome.
Yeah, thanks for all the questions too. I really appreciate it and always love doing these. So.
Yeah. And so just for future notice, we're thinking of doing town halls bi-weekly, just due to the current approach to transparency we have with the daily dues, as well as just the updates that we probably post 2 or 3 days. We thought it might get a little bit repetitive if we did these every single week, because you're probably going to be seeing some of the same information. But whereas if they're every 2 weeks, we can have these awesome demos where we have enough time to prep this stuff. There's enough time that there's a difference in the actual development stages that we have new things to report, as opposed to kind of just reporting things you already know. So that's the town hall number 13. Thank you all so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks on Saturdays at 2100 UTC for the next one. Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a great comment to end on. Time to hunt down another founder token. that we must be doing something right. Oh goodness. All right. Thank you all so much. We really, really, really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your days. And if there's anything we can do to help out, just send us a message and we'll get right on it.
See you guys.